Welcome to the exciting rebirth of Superstar, featuring choose your membership rate as low as just $3 a month. At Superstar, you get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, class passes for Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of October 3rd, 2021. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological week without a doubt. Huge moves, massive moves happening in the sky now. And I do think that this may be one of the most important weeks of 2021, without a doubt. We have two big planets going direct under the light of a brand new moon. And this is no ordinary new moon. It is a jacked up new moon in the sign of Libra. It is a new moon happening hand in hand with Mars. Mercury isn't far away as well, a retrograde Mercury concentrated in its energy. And then at the end of the week, it is the Sun and Mars and Mercury getting together for a more precise sharing of energy. But it isn't just about what's happening with the new moon, of course, which I'll talk about in more detail in just a moment. But it's the fact that under the light of the new moon, hours after the new moon on Wednesday, Pluto will go direct. And then at the very end of the week, Saturn will go direct. The fact that we have these very consequential planets changing directions in and of itself would be important. But the fact that they are moving forward does speak to us in some way having to look at the truth of a situation, even if it's hard, perhaps even questioning ourselves as to what the truth actually is. But then from that place, coming to understand that we have to move forward in light of new information. See, that's the thing about the truth, whether that's the truth about yourself, or the truth about another person, or the truth about a particular person, place, thing, or situation. Once you know, you can't not know. And you can't really ever go back. That is actually very encouraging. It means that whatever work you have put into to earn the change that you have, it can't be undone. It's in there somewhere. Even if it looks like on the surface you're regressing, we never really are. We're just learning, we're growing, we're building on whatever has been before, even if it doesn't look that way on the surface. But we also get these rare opportunities as well to see a situation with different eyes, to look again. And we get the opportunity to find a depth of honesty that's also vulnerable. And that is part of the energy now. And so I want to talk specifically about Pluto going direct and Saturn going direct, because I am of the belief that everything in the sky and in the cosmos is perfect. It is part of a larger dance and a larger rhythm, and even movements that seem not connected, they are placed with perfection. And what that means is, with a week like this, look, if one thing was happening, we've got four big things happening. The conglomerate of planets in Libra, a new moon in Libra that is going to trine Jupiter, square Pluto. We've got Pluto going direct and Saturn going direct. So one of these things would make this a big week. Four of these things are taking place. The energy of Libra lit up. Pluto in Capricorn intensifying that energy. Saturn in Aquarius in its home sign strengthening that energy. Planets moving forward. And even though they seem like separate occurrences, there is a perfection to why it is all of this is happening right now, and a way in which they can work together. And so allow me to share with you a story that I actually really love, a myth that has been deeply meaningful to me, and it is the myth of Inanna. And I actually look at the myth of Inanna as a perfect example of a Pluto transit. Like, this is what people go through symbolically, mythologically speaking, what people will experience when they're having a Pluto transit in their chart. Now, the myth of Inanna comes from the Book of Gilgamesh, and the Book of Gilgamesh is really the first very cohesive mythological story in human history. It's about 6,000 years old. And Inanna is considered the precursor to Lilith and what we know and whom we know as Lilith today. And so Inanna was a queen and she was a goddess, and she was deeply in love. She had a partner that she adored, and she was living her life, right? Enjoying her life. And then there's this wailing that starts coming from the underworld. Now, this wailing was coming from another figure named Ereshkigal. And some sayings of the myth or tellings of the myth have Ereshkigal as her sister-in-law. Others place her as her sister. But she has the domain of the underworld. And from the underworld, all of the people and all of Inanna's people could hear this very loud wailing taking place. And they go to Inanna and they say, Inanna, can you take care of this? You know, you are queen of this realm. Do something about that, because it's really bothering people. And so Inanna says, okay, I'm going to go to the underworld. I'm going to take care of this, see what's going on. In order to get to the underworld, there are 7 gates that Inanna must pass. And at each gate, she is asked to remove an item, something that significates her as a queen, that says something to the world about her station, about her power. And so she does this. She's first asked to remove her crown, and then she starts to descend. One at a time, she has to move through 7 gates, and at each gate, she has to remove one item. And when she gets to the final gate, she enters, and at this point, she is nude. And she comes to the underworld and she witnesses Ereshkigal hanging from a meat hook and wailing. And she comes to understand that Ereshkigal's great love has died. And Ereshkigal is mourning. She is in so much pain that she is mourning this loss. And this mourning is undeniable. It is interfering with the worlds. It's that powerful. And Inanna has no power in this situation and in this moment. Her only power is to sit with Ereshkigal and serve as witness. That's it. That's the only thing she can do. And so that's what she does. She sits with Ereshkigal and allows or creates a space, creates a safe space for all of the sadness to be expressed before Inanna is able to start to ascend. And so here is where we come to this week, because we focus a lot, or at least I have focused a lot, on the descent of Inanna. The myth itself, or the story itself, is called the descent of Inanna. But for every descent is an ascent. And it's the ascent in which Inanna starts to gain back these different items, right? These 7 items she gains back one at a time. But now as she's gaining them back, they look different. They no longer are the same. They don't mean the same thing. They don't feel the same way, but she takes them anyways. She puts them on one at a time. And then she gets back to her realm. And as soon as she emerges from the underworld, she sees her great love making love to somebody else. And in an instant, her entire life, her entire world looks different. But the thing is that what she is seeing now is honest. It's honest in a way that she had not known before. And the things that she thought were so important, she realizes perhaps really aren't or no longer are. Now, this is what a Pluto transit will do to you. And that's actually part of the blessing. Again, it's not just the sky in this moment that has its perfection, but transits to our own chart can signify opportunities to grow, to evolve, to be more, to know more about ourselves than we did before. But even within that, there will be important moments. There'll be turning points that can feel more powerful than other transits that look the same or similar on the surface. And that's kind of what we have right now. With Pluto going direct and Saturn going direct, under the light of a new moon in Libra, a jacked up new moon in Libra, all of us may very well be seeing our own lives, our own experiences, our own relationships differently than we did before. Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is, of course, about the legacy that we create. It's about success, how we define success for ourselves. What success is meaningful and what isn't. I think that is a very powerful realization to contemplate and to consider where meaningful success matters. Because if the success is not meaningful to you, it's not meaningful, period. And I think this is why we see again and again, our own definitions of success can change at different times in our lives. They can change based on new information, new experiences that we may have. And so having Pluto go direct is going to be a moment of honesty for a lot of us in our understanding of what success means to us, but also our understanding of power, of hierarchies, of how we feel about that, of what we're willing to give, what we're willing to pour ourselves into, and what we may not be willing to pour ourselves into anymore. Pluto asks for our emotional energy. But what is worth giving that very valuable emotional energy to? This is going to be a moment of clarity for a lot of us. This is going to be insights into the traditions that we honor and the traditions, perhaps, that are being used as manipulation and that we are no longer okay with it. And where it is that some of that dynamic shows up in our relationships and our one-on-one alliances, well, that may come right to the surface in the middle of the week. One thing is for sure, though, there is a measure here of powerlessness. As much as that new moon has that trine to Jupiter, beautiful Jupiterian energy, it's still got that square to Pluto. Pluto very strong in the sky, changing directions. And Pluto invites us to consider the limits of our power, where we have power and where we don't, and to find peace within that. Now, Saturn in its own way also has to do with power, but it's more about acknowledging what we can do, doing our best and surrendering the rest. And also, Saturn invites us to look at our lives and look at what it is that we've manifested and to look at it even when it's hard. Now, Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is a very idealistic sign. But what is ideal? It means different things to different people. Perhaps what's ideal is for everybody to be able to have a sense of their own agency, a sense of their own power. Independence can seem like a very strong ideal. And for other people, a more ideal world, a more ideal life is feeling connected rather than independence. But most of us can say that we need both, right? We need that balance. And that's why the energy of Aquarius has and is considered to have such a strong dichotomy. It is about the individual and about the collective at the same time. It asks for equality, but it also asks for individual acknowledgement in its own time and place. The ability to have agency over our own lives, to move our lives in the direction we desire to go. And here's Saturn. Saturn is the reality check. Saturn invites us to be honest with ourselves even when it's hard, and to be honest about what we have manifested and how we manifested it, and perhaps why we manifested it. Because there's always some purpose. The why is certainly about some higher purpose, some spiritual lesson. But the why can also be how we contributed to our practical experience, where we had agency, where we used our agency well, or perhaps also where it is that we didn't, making peace with that. But looking at what we have manifested and deciding what works for us, but also what doesn't. And so just like Inanna, when she emerged from the underworld, she came up and she saw things as they actually were, and everything looked different because she was different. She was ready to see things as they actually were. She had spent time in the underworld bearing witness to great pain, to loss, right? Loss is very hard for people. It's very hard for people to be there for someone who has experienced great loss, to be there with someone in their grief. People who experience grief sometimes don't feel like they can share it with everybody. They may seek out safe spaces or maybe not feel that every space, certainly every space is not safe to truly express and be in their grief. People who may not truly understand the depths of grief may not be able to be as patient as someone may need. We all go through our own journey where it comes to grief. We're at different places when we look at the stages of grief. But the strength it takes to sit with your own grief or to sit with another's grief is great strength. And it is a great gift that we can give ourselves or we give to another. It is very special people who will work with or be with people in their grief. Because there's something very real about loss. It changes our lives. And so here's Inanna. She's emerging after sitting in grief. And she too now, as she emerges and comes back to her real life, has to look at things differently in a way that also acknowledges that she's lost something. And what she's lost is those rose-colored glasses. She can no longer tell herself that things are a certain way because the reality is right here in her face. But the thing is that this is where something truly authentic can begin. And that is the great opportunity here. And I think in many ways, many of us are going to look back at this week. Perhaps a whole lot of us will think that this week stood out. When we look back at the trajectory of 2021, this is going to be a very important week in that regard. But I also think that many of us are going to look back at this week and realize that it was necessary. Where it is that we may already be quite grounded and quite connected, examining ourselves, examining our lives, well, this is where we may start to feel like we're able to gain momentum of some kind. We're able to make progress. But for others of us, where it is that perhaps we haven't wanted to see what actually is, or be honest with ourselves, or dig really deep within ourselves, well, this is where a whole lot may come to the surface. This is where it may be challenging to look at things as they are. But this is the beginning of self-respect. And I would even say the beginning of self-love, authentic self-love, that comes from knowing that you can see things as they are and you are still okay. And so there are different ways that this can play out for a lot of us. This is a new moon in Libra. Remember, it's redefining our partnerships and our relationships. That square to Pluto is saying we really don't have power over other people. And that can be really liberating. But it can also be something that's scary. And it is scary. Even if it looks like on the surface that what someone else is doing is about us, it really isn't. I would say 99.999% of the time, it really isn't. It is about them and all the things that they experienced and how they interpreted those experiences and all that they bring to this moment. That is going to determine who it is that you're interacting with, whom it is that they are. So much is about where someone is in their own life and not about you. And so, for example, a really great example is everyone you meet isn't going to love you, and that's okay. Everyone you go out on a date with isn't going to love you, and that's okay. That's actually quite a relief, right? And that's why it makes it special when there's the honest exchange of love. It's that much more special. But people often, if they want love, they find it. They're open to it. They're willing to it. And it isn't about you. It isn't about your worthiness to receive love or to know love. And I think that this is a great truth and a great lesson. That if you want love and you're open to love, then it is someone else who is also open to love that makes that possible. And even then, sometimes it doesn't connect, and that's okay too. It isn't personal. It isn't about you. It's about them. That can be very liberating to realize. But also, of course, all of our interactions can teach us something about ourselves. The truth that is revealed isn't about what they feel about us and us putting our worthiness in someone else's hands. The truth about us is how we feel, what we come to understand about ourselves in every interaction, and how we are going to interpret those interactions. And so here we have this very powerful opportunity to find a depth of honesty within, to find purpose within that, and to find stability within ourselves. And so in one way or another, lives are moving forward now in very practical ways, in very real ways. Relationships that are authentic and strong at a time like this will grow stronger. They'll become more stable. They'll take on a greater depth, greater vulnerability, greater bonding. But where it is that it has been superficial, or where it is that perhaps we've been going through the motions, that's just not going to work for us anymore. We're not going to be okay with it from ourselves. We're not going to be okay with it from another. And so with both of these planets, they have their own way of understanding powerlessness. That's part of the spiritual lesson of Pluto and of Saturn. With Pluto, it truly is that surrender needs to happen, that other people have a will of their own, and sometimes it can feel not very nice. With Saturn, it's the reality of what someone is showing you. Maybe not necessarily some decision that they're making. But, you know, as they say, the proof is in the pudding, right? That proof, that's Saturn right there. The pudding is the sky. Now, if all this wasn't enough, we've also got Venus on the move as well. Venus is going to move into the sign of Sagittarius this week. This is a very big deal. And this takes place smack dab in the middle of the week as Venus moves into the sign of Sagittarius. It is taking heart and love to what's different and what's new. This is an energy that has a measure of freedom and new experiences and bringing love to new experiences. And this is also about seeing love in all kinds of places and faces and spaces. This is about bringing heart to the desire to understand others with very different beliefs or opinions or worldviews than our own. So whether this amplifies a sense of wanting to get along with people from different cultures, from different backgrounds on that front, or different religions, or whether it is more personal, wanting the experience of connecting with others, we should see that energy start to amplify now. I also think that now we're seeing more and more countries open up. And I know that even though they are opening up, there are still some restrictions in place, like, for example, only opening up to people who are vaccinated. Things like that is something that some countries are doing. I think we're going to see more and more of that, especially with Venus in the sign of Sagittarius. We're going to be invited to look more deeply at our love for new experiences, our love for exploration, but also bringing love to opening our own space to different people as well. And that is certainly a personal journey and a personal process, but I think that will very likely be seen on the world stage in terms of what's happening with countries welcoming in people from other countries at this time. What I love about this week for us, well, it is a massive, it is a huge, it is an important astrological week without a doubt. Massive moves happening in the sky now. Pluto going direct is a big deal. Saturn going direct is a big deal. Now, if one of these were taking place, I would say, wow, this is huge. Both of these are taking place along with a very powerful new moon, along with that conglomerate of planets in Libra. We are being asked to get along with others. And we're being asked to find a depth of acceptance for what actually is. And also, we're being asked to evolve, to change in light of new information. The opportunity here is to choose to change from a place of heart, from a place of love, to welcome in new experiences or new understandings that can shift our perspective. and where it is that we're guided by genuine love, well, chances are these new perspectives will expand our heart that much more to each other and to the world. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm truly so grateful for it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, thumbs up. It means so much to me. I love reading your comments, and to prove it to you guys, here are some of my most recent favorite comments. Thank you to everybody who likes, who comments, who subscribes, who shares, who thumbs up. All of it means so, so very much. Please stay tuned to the end. I have more to say about the comments very soon. But of course, if you want to know how all this wonderful stuff this week speaks to you in your sign, log on to NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. At NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, you get expanded exclusive video scopes each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month. That's right, $3 a month with choose your membership rate gets you expanded exclusive video scopes for each and every sign each and every week. Higher tiers get you things like access to special horoscopes, class passes to future Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Link is in the description below. Synchronicity University, massive November events I'm so excited to tell you about. We have got an incredible speaker series, and we have got the one and only world-renowned tarot expert, tarot teacher, tarot author, Melissa CYNOVA. So let me start by telling you about Melissa CYNOVA. She is a star. She's got all this Sag energy. She is an incredible teacher. I got to know her as part of Tarot Summer School, and I just felt like I really want this woman to come teach at my school, Synchronicity University. And that's what she's going to be doing, teaching a 5-part course, taking you through all of the tarot cards as only she can, as author of the Kitchen Table Tarot book series. And so right now, as low as just $5 a class till the end of the month. This is an unheard of rate to learn from Melissa CYNOVA. And for that, you will get to deepen and enrich your tarot understanding and your tarot practice. And I feel like this is going to be a real opportunity for us to tap into a depth of understanding of the tarot that perhaps you just haven't known before. And so, yes, as low as just $5 a class would choose your tuition rate. That is on right now. Come learn from the one and only Melissa CYNOVA at synchronicityuniversity.com. Link is in the description below. Synchronicity University November speaker series is on. And until the end of the month, it is choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class to learn from truly world-class astrology teachers. I am so excited to celebrate these incredible people with you. April Elliott Kent, the one and only superstar astrologer, is going to be teaching this November. Rachel Lang, another superstar astrologer as well. We've got Nico, son of Celine, YouTube phenomenon that I know a lot of you watch and a lot of you love. Louise Edgington is going to be teaching on your personal Venus star. And Nicole Garceau, my fellow Canadian, is going to be teaching on understanding developmental age. So we have got so much here. We've got financial astrology. We've got eclipses in astrology. We've got spiritual gifts. So much going on with this incredible speaker series. So again, there are just a few weeks left. For as low as just $5 a class with choose your tuition rate, the November speaker series is right around the corner. We are going to move into holiday season together, having a whole lot of fun at synchronicityuniversity.com. I hope that you will join us. Links are in the description below. Kabbalah astrology with the one and only Rachel Schwartz starts this week. This is incredible. And the first class is going to be an intro to Kabbalah astrology. This is a topic that's been so widely requested by so many students, and I'm so excited to have one of the very best in the world come to Synchronicity University to teach Kabbalah astrology. And over the course of 5 weeks, Rachel is going to be talking about all kinds of areas of life, from parenting to sexuality to world events and so much more. Now, the website hasn't been updated just yet, which means that if you are watching this early enough in the week, on the weekend, you can still jump on synchronicityuniversity.com and sign up for as low as just $5 a class. Again, an unheard of rate to learn from such an incredible astrologer like Rachel Schwartz. But if you don't get a chance to catch that, don't worry about that. You can still sign up for individual classes at their normal rate of $35 a class. So I hope that you will join us because Rachel Schwartz is incredible. She is such a star. You've seen her on my YouTube channel a few times now, I think. And so I think we are absolutely going to have so much fun and grow like mystically and spiritually and in so many ways. And I look forward to seeing you in Rachel's class at synchronicityuniversity.com. Synchronicityuniversity.com. My own classes are on right now as well. They started just this weekend with the 5th house, looking at love and windfalls and gambling and all kinds of fun stuff. We looked at planets in the 5th house. So thank you to everybody who joined live, who signed up for that. Coming up next week, we are going to get started on the MidHeaven. This autumn session, we have fully 3 classes on the MidHeaven, and then in the new year, we're going to have a 4th class on the MidHeaven. So there's a lot to talk about here. We are going to be looking at signs on the MidHeaven. And so right about now, actually, again, the website hasn't been updated just yet, which means that if you're watching this early enough in the week, you can still jump on to synchronicityuniversity.com and sign up for as low as just $5 a class. We've got lots of incredible classes coming up this autumn back to school session. We've got how to write horoscopes, power couples, Pallas-Athena, the 9th house as well. So we've got so much to look forward to that I think is going to be a lot of fun. 10 classes in total over the autumn season. So I hope that you can join us. Choose your tuition rate officially has expired, but you may be able to squeeze in there, or else join us for just $35 a class at synchronicityuniversity.com. I look forward to meeting you in class, and thank you to all my incredible students. I'm so happy to be back in class with you. I've truly loved being back with you guys. I loved the class earlier today, and I'm looking forward to an incredible and rewarding autumn session ahead. And announcing for a very limited time, you can get signed copies of my books at synchronicitypublications.com. Now, books ship from Canada, and I'm not always in Canada. So the fact that I'm here right now means that you can get signed copies of my books. They will be shipped at the end of October. They are ready to go. They're already published, but you will get signed copies and free gifts if you order them directly from me as well. So if you know that you have somebody who really likes my work, well, thank you to that person, and thank you to you as well. But if you know that you want to get them a signed copy of one of my books, and it does come with free gifts, well, have them or have you log on to synchronicitypublications.com, and there you can actually order those books and have it ready for the holiday season that's going to be coming up ahead. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your trust. I'm so grateful for it. My books are my heart. They are my children. And it means so much that so many of you do love my books. So there are, of course, 4 books published now. Mayan Astrology is going to be coming out in November. The print advanced copies have gone to print. There's been a little bit of a delay on the side of the printer, and I'm so sorry about that, but I'm being in touch with them, hoping to get those books shipped with all the free gifts very, very soon. Having said that, though, other books are already published. My 4 books are published, and they are The Universe is Wise and Loving, which looks at the nodes of the moon. Astrology Realized was my very first book, and that is an overview of the history and philosophical development of astrology and an introduction to chart readings. My book, The Body and the Cosmos, is real nerdy. I really loved writing that. It's taking the ideas of Plato that he presents in Timaeus and applying it to an astrological sky. So that's where you really get to see me with my nerd hat on. And my other book is called Prayers to the Sky. It is like astrological magic light. It's very experiential, and I really enjoyed writing this. It looks at the origin myths of the planets, so understanding them mythologically and helping you to cultivate a personal relationship with the planets as well. So all of these books are available online wherever books are sold, but if you want signed copies with free gifts directly from me, log on to synchronicitypublications.com. Link is in the description below. And finally, you can get my take on your unique birth chart by checking out my partnership with Cosmogram. You go onto the Cosmogram website, you enter in your birth data, and within hours, you are sent a PDF electronic copy of your birth chart, along with my explanation of the different planetary placements. Thank you so much to everybody who's ordered this. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your trust. It means so much to me that you have enjoyed these horoscopes, and I hope that you continue to as well. So you can learn more about this. You can get a sample report as well on the Cosmogram website. Link is in the description below. And thank you. Thank you for watching. Okay, so I did say I wanted to talk about something and let's talk about the comments a little bit. So let's do that right now. I want to tell you, I love my audience so much. Your trust means so very much to me. I think sometimes about how I have been on YouTube for 13 years now. I've been a full-time astrologer for 15 years now. And this longevity that I've been able to have really is thanks to your trust, thanks to your love. And I know that from my end, it is showing up consistently. And I have showed up at times when it was really hard for me to show up, something going on in my own life. But in many ways, this work has been a saving grace to me, deeply meaningful to me. And so there's a phenomenon that's been happening recently in astrology and tarot, and many of us who put ourselves out there on social media, where there are clone accounts being created. And really, this is people trying to scam other people. And I'm so sorry about this. Look, I'm as sorry as I can be about something I have no power over, but some of that has been happening here on this channel. There is somebody who's been creating clone accounts using my name, using my photo, but it is not my channel, and they are replying to your comments. And what I'm seeing is people who have commented frequently over the months, over the years, are believing that this is me. And what this clone account is asking people to do is to WhatsApp them. Okay, so if you've watched me for a while, let me just say, you know, I don't talk about myself very much. It's just this year, after 13 years on YouTube, this year that I acknowledged that I had been in a relationship. Like, that's how infrequently I talk about myself. And it's really because of Jupiter in my sign that has made me a little bit more open, a little bit more chatty. But, you know, I love that my work is about you. I love that my work is about other people. It is about being of service, of giving. And that means so much to me. So I try to get out of the way as much as possible, even though this year, yes, I have been a little bit more chatty. I will never share my WhatsApp in YouTube comments, that's for sure. My WhatsApp is near and dear to my heart, let's put it that way. Or the people who know my WhatsApp, the very few people, is a very select group. Not a whole lot of people know that. Another thing, my WhatsApp is a Mexican number as well, because, you know, I've lived in Mexico now for almost 9 years. Almost 9 years. In February, it'll be 9 years, even though I'm in Canada right now visiting. I am seeing this person. I'm going to invite you not to interact. I'm going to invite you to do what I've been doing, what my team has been doing, which is flagging the comment. When you interact with their comments, it raises that, it makes it more visible. It is disheartening on a lot of levels to see this. I don't like that my audience and people from my audience, my friends, my fans, my superstars, my students, these are people who are being scammed. You know, they're falling for this. That is not good. But the other thing that I think about is, you know, what is it that I really have? I have my work, right? But really it is my name. That's what I have, is my name. I've built this, whatever this is, and it is built because of your trust. It is built because of your love. And I value this connection that I have with you so, so very much. I value this trust that you've placed in me. I hold it as a great privilege, and I am very, very aware never to take advantage of that trust. And so how do I do that? I do that in a few different ways. I do it by caring about what I share with you. And I do it by being very transparent, you know, saying like, okay, at the beginning of the video, it is very clear, this is what I offer. So you might get the YouTube ads, but you get me promoting something, maybe a sponsor, maybe superstar. And then I focus only on the horoscope. Some things will flash on the screen from time to time for a couple of minutes out of the entire video. But for the most part, you know the segment that is the horoscope. And then at the end, I tell you about the different things I offer. So if you're interested in those things that I offer, you'll see them there. You'll get links in the description below. So if you're interested, you can go and have a look at that. And in this way, this is the format that I have followed for many, many years now, and that I plan to continue to follow. And in this way, you know what to expect. It's very transparent in that way. When I see that the trust that I have built with you taken advantage of, it it doesn't make me feel good, that's for sure. I think that, and I believe that with dedication, anybody can build anything. Now, sometimes the universe has a greater plan for you than anything you could plan for yourself. And I've seen that in my own life. But it is disheartening to see when someone hasn't done the work, but use a name where a lot of work went into it. Like that name, my name, has 15 years as a full-time astrologer behind it. And that means something to me. It means something to me that if I say, hey, I'm offering this, you know where to find me. You know that if you get something off my website, that is legit. Getting something off of my website means that you're going to get it. And if not, we make it right. We are always available to you. I have a team of 4 people, 2 of them dedicated to answering your emails. Now 3 actually, because of the volume that comes in. A 3rd person has come on for that. And so we have people who are there to answer your emails, to address any concerns, to make sure that you're okay in terms of if you order something, you get it. And that's part of the trust that I've built with you. That trust that means so much to me. And it rests in the name, and the name that I have earned, the reputation that I've earned of being consistent, of being here. And so when I see somebody using that name to profit without having put in the time, without having put in the sacrifice it took, that is disheartening as well. And so what I'm going to ask is that if you see a comment like this, flag it as spam or whatever else YouTube gives you the option to do. My team has been doing this, but there's no need to engage with people. There's no need to be mean or to, hate or bully anybody. I don't like that. I don't want that kind of energy on my channel. Flagging it is more than enough. And then, other than that, we really have no power over it, right? I have no power over what someone else does and what someone else chooses to do. And if someone else doesn't believe in themselves and their voice, or they think that the maximum of their potential is to scam people, I don't know. What can I say to that, right? We show what we believe about ourselves based on our actions. Our actions reveal what we believe about our own potential. And some people will waste that potential in all kinds of ways. I think scamming people is a waste of potential. I think focusing on others is a waste of your potential. But that's me. I had the great privilege of being born and raised in a place and in a family where I could prioritize my self-actualization. And for that, I'm really, really grateful. And I'm trudging the road just along with everybody else. I'm doing the best that I can. But one thing I can say is that my connection to you means everything. It means the world to me. You have blessed me with your trust. And I thank you for that. Don't WhatsApp anybody that's commenting. It doesn't matter if it looks like me. Don't WhatsApp. I will not share my WhatsApp in this place. And in a YouTube comment, that's for sure. You will not get my WhatsApp number there. Flag it, let it go. That's all we can do. That's the only power we have. And thank you. Once again, I have raided my mother's closet. So look at this. You can thank her for this outfit. I'll be back to my own outfits probably when I'm in Mexico or maybe before. But I'm here in Canada for another month. And I'm looking forward to the journey with you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your trust. I can't say it enough. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.